Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
In Middletown for today's state playoff game between Matawan and Watchung Hills. And, Buzz, the last couple of weeks now, we've seen Matawan, and they've looked nothing short of devastating.
Tony, I think we're going to see a Matawan today that's going to be devastating. They're very strong with that tremendous size. Last week we saw this Mandeville open up, and as I understand, he hadn't had a couple of good games before that. But with Mandeville and company, Matawan, I think today is the team to beat. The single wing has to be strong on the offside, and they are. Gary Weber, 43, the big 230-pounder, and the other kid that I've been impressed with every time we've watched him, and it's Rick Butler coming back to the weak side. So Matawan, Tony, has been awesome, and I expect him to be very awesome today. Watchung Hills, I don't know that much about him.
All right, Matawan's players to watch, and they've been the players to watch all year. Of course, Gary Weber, the Monmouth Ocean County leading scorer, a senior 6'2", 230, has 94 points now, 13 touchdowns and 8 conversions. Ken Mandeville, the Huskies' brilliant junior tailback, 6 feet, 210 pounds, and he's thrown 10 touchdown passes this year. Wingback Rick Butler, a senior, 6 feet, 190, who has caught 5 touchdown passes now this season. On defense, Mandeville plays at safety, but one of the big stars for Matawan on defense has been linebacker Ed Stewart with 4 fumble recoveries and 2 interceptions, a senior, 6'1", 215 pounds, and Matawan is very strong across the front with Rick Darahilo, 6'1", 200, and Mike Mannion as tackles, 6'1", 230. Watchung Hills, the player to watch would have been the quarterback, Ken Barrett, number 10, but as we said, he is not expected to see action today, who will be replaced by either Joe Rebolts, a 6'2 junior, or Tom Sharkey, a 5'11 senior. But Watchung Hills has some other good players. They have Dave Palumbo, a split end. He'll be wearing number 25, a senior, 6 feet, 162 pounds, 27 catches for 505 yards and 5 touchdowns. Their other standout players are their 2 running backs in the Veer offense, which puts on the field 2 setbacks and a flanker. Bob Rotens, a senior, 6'1", 175, has rushed for 500 yards or better and has scored 3 touchdowns. The other setback, Tim Aldrich, is a senior, 5'8", 175, has scored 6 touchdowns and has raced for over 650 yards this season. So between those 2 and Palumbo, that's where Watchung Hills will try to mount its attack today against the Huskies. On defense, Watchung Hills, we'd have to say average size. Their biggest player at tackle, Bill Ard, a junior, 6'3", 193. And Palumbo, the split end, also plays defensive back, as does wingback Dean Dilzell, a senior, 5'9", 176, who doubles as a flanker and also a defensive halfback. And now, from here on the Matawan side, a chorus of displeasure arises as Watchung Hills makes its first appearance since about a half hour or 45 minutes ago when they were warming up. They're jumping all over each other now. They're very excited, and this is a big ball game. The state playoff, first time Matawan has ever been in it, first time Watchung Hills has ever been in it, of course. And, Watchung Hills plays some pretty good football up in their area. Last year they were 3-6, but the year before that they were 9-0. Their coach is Bob Bailey, and the coach, of course, for Matawan in his 20th year now, having maybe his greatest season. It certainly looks like it's going to be head coach Barry Rizzo. Back with more on today's Matawan Watchung Hills game after another timeout.
For breakfast, any time of the day, for a snack, for a full meal, and especially for any one of the 42 different famous Perkins pancake dishes, take your family today to a Perkins Pancake House. Perkins
is back here at Middletown High School. Again, Matawan wishes to thank Middletown Athletic Director Phil Braun and the Middletown School District for allowing it to use its field for today's playoff game. And now, the Matawan and Watchung Hills bands here will combine in our national anthem. look out at the football field, one of the reasons they're using the Middletown field today is because of its fine drainage. And indeed, despite the weather yesterday and a little bit of rain last night, the field has drained, it looks like, pretty nicely. And while it might be a little damp, I don't see any real muddy or bad spots out there. And now the Matawan crowd getting very excited as their ball club looks like it's about to make its appearance for the action this afternoon. Matawan is the Shore Conference Class B champion. They've been ranked number 1 in the Shore all season long, ranked number 1 in the state most of the season. And Watchung Hills plays in the Mid-State Conference. And Watchung Hills is right now one of the leaders. That race has yet to be decided. The Watchung Hills Ball Club is now being introduced, and their players are streaming out on the field. Bob, when you're in school, do you have any championship-type ball games you're in?
Football-wise, no. Neptune developed under Van-Erck. I played under John Van-Erck for 2 years, and we had my senior year, we had about 7, 8 freshmen on the team. And then Ricky Hopkins developed, and they had an excellent ball club. I think they won the Shore Conference in 1963 or 64.
And Neptune did have some very fine years in high school football down through the mid-60s, and hopefully we'll be bouncing back maybe into the football limelight in the next couple of years or so. Watchung Hills now, the entire ball club racing out onto the field across the far side. They brought down a pretty good contingent. Looks like their whole side of the field is packed. And now the roar for the Huskies of Matawan. There's Kurt Neal being introduced. He's a starting end, a senior, 6'1", 180. Has 2 touchdown passes to his credit. Here's the center, Glenn Holmes, coming out as senior, 6'3", 185. This is Joe Galletti, a junior guard, 5'7", 165. Big Bob Cupshaw, a senior tackle, 6 feet, 255. Ron Lee, another big tackle, a junior, 6'3", 215 on offense. Here's Rick Darahilo, a senior, 6 feet, 200 pounds. Our WJLK player of the week of this week, 3 touchdown passes. Now Ricky Butler. Butler, a senior, 6 feet, 190, with 5 touchdown catches to his credit. The blocking back, Chuck Lita, very unheralded, but does an excellent job, a senior, 5'8", 170. Here is the baby bull, Gary Weber, 6'2", 230. And the tailback, Ken Mandeville, a junior, 6 feet, 210. Between them, Mandeville and Weber have been devastating on offense this season. Mandeville, as we said, plays defense, and Weber also plays a little defense sometimes at linebacker. The Matawan team hurling itself onto its pregame huddle. And safety Bill McCoy was the last man in there, and he was still high in the air and jumps into that pregame huddle. And now they're all set to go. The captains meeting the officials at the center of the field. This Matawan crowd are really up for the ball game. Bobby, I think maybe one of the most exciting parts of a football game is right before it starts, when the players come out and they're jumping all around, and the fans really are up for the opening kickoff.
Especially in a game like this, you have those butterflies, and you're really tense inside. You really want to explode, and as soon as that opening kickoff starts, I think they'll calm down a little bit.
From Matawan, Ricky Butler and Vinny Migliori are the co-captains, and they're meeting the Watchung Hills co-captains at the middle of the field. Matawan just dressed in all maroon today with the white numerals, and Watchung Hills in mostly white with some black numerals and gold trimmings. This, as we said, one of the several games involving Shore Area high school football teams in the playoffs this afternoon. A big day for Shore Area football. Brick is down at Pennsauken. Red Bank is hosting Somerville. And some other big games. Howe is up at North Hunterdon. Red Bank Catholic is down at Camden Catholic. And we hope for a big day for all Shore Area high school football teams in these playoffs. Looks like Watchung Hills, I think, has won the toss. Watchung Hills has won the toss and has elected to receive. And Matawan, which has fallen behind the first quarter in its last 2 ball games. Both times in the first quarter, trailing Southern 7-0 and trailing Hal 8-7. Will be on defense today. Matawan to start. Matawan has 3 shutouts this season, and Watchung Hills has 4. So Watchung Hills on offense. Again, Dave Palumbo will be the split end. The running backs Bob Rotans and Tim Aldrich. The flanker Dean Dilzell. The quarterback will be either Joe Rebholz or Tim Sharkey. The tight end Glenn Smith. The center will be Brad Green, a 5'11 senior. The tackles Dean Geibel, a 6'1 senior, and John Condit, a 6'3 senior. The guards John Dugan, a 5'7 junior. Roger Barr, a 5'10 senior. And the deep backs for Watchung Hills returning the kickoff will be Tim Aldrich, number 23, Dave Palumbo, number 25, and Bob Rotans, number 35. So Matawan ready to kick off. That'll be Ed Stewart teeing up the football. He's a senior, 6'1", 215. And check it, I guess Watchung Hills is going to kick off. That's right. The indication was Watchung Hills won the toss, but they apparently elected to kick, I believe. Which might be a little unusual. Maybe I just misread the coin flip. But anyway, Matawan will get the ball first. So a big break for the Huskies here, one way or the other, is Matawan. Sends back Ken Mandeville, Rick Butler, and Ed Stewart back near the goal line. And Walt Conley, a 6-foot junior, is set to kick off now for the Warriors of Watchung Hills. He tees the ball up on the 40-yard line. And the game is underway. Kicks it high, floats it downfield. Taken at the 5-yard line by Gary Weber. Weber at the 10, 15, 20, 25, spinning and brought down between the 25 and the 30-yard line. And Matawan will go into action now. Frank Pasquarello made the tackle for Watchung Hills, and Matawan will go 1st and 10 up at about its own 28-yard line. Mandeville, Weber, Butler will be the running backs. Lito, the blocking back, in the single wing. And here comes Matawan, 1st and 10, called the 28-yard line. Backs in the single wing. The snap goes to Rick Butler. There's a flag on the play. Butler sweeping the corner at the 30, breaks the tackle, 35, still going 40, still going 45, and run down near the 45. It is a flag in the Matawan backfield. A fine run on the opening play by Rick Butler. But a legal motion is the call here against Matawan. It'll wipe out the game. Walt Conley made the stop. Check it. Roger Barr made the tackle, a senior guard, a middle guard, 5'10", 175. Now, Watchung on defense will have at defensive ends Jim Lasecki, a 6'1 senior, and Tom Tormey, a 5'11 junior. The tackles Tony Norcia, a 5'6 junior, Bill Ard, the 6'3 junior, the middle guard Roger Barr, a 5'10 senior, Dean Geibel, a 6'1 senior, Tim Aldrich, a 5'8 senior, of the linebackers. The defensive backs Frank Pasquarello, a 5'8 senior, Dave Palumbo, a 6-foot senior, Vin DeFazel, a 5'9 senior, and Dean Dilzell, a 5'9 senior. Matawan 2nd and 15 from the 23. And there goes Ken Mandeville, the tailback, up over the 25, and he battles his way back near the original line of scrimmage, which would be the 28-yard line. And Matawan will come up to about a 2nd down and 10. Jim Lasecki and Bill Ard combine on the stop for Watchung Hills. Now a 2nd and 10 for Matawan up at their own 28. Sideline right, open field to the left. No score in the ball game for Middletown. NJS side of the late playoffs. Matawan with the football. The snap to Butler. Butler, the wingback, trying to go wide. He's spinning around the corner. The 30, the 35. Butler at the 40 and run out of bounds to the 45-yard line. Finally shoved out by defensive back Dean Dilzell, a senior, 5'9", 176. Dilzell just got there. Ricky Butler turned the corner and nearly broke it down the sideline. Bobby?
Chuck Lito threw a great block on now, number 14 for Matawan.
And he is the blocking back, and now for Matawan, they get the first down up to the 43-yard line. Huskies on their own 43 in the single wing. The snap goes to Weber, spins into the middle of the line. 45 midfield, 45, 40, and the last man got him, or he was gone. That was Frank Pasquarello, a senior, 5'8", 153, and he just upended Gary Weber. He was gone bye-bye.
Gary Weber took that ball. They faked the buck lateral into the line, and then Gary just continued and got about 15 yards.
All right, the Huskies now grinding it out. 1st and 10 on the Watchung Hills 45-yard line. No score in the ballgame. Matawan driving here. Matawan over the football, single wing to Weber, the baby bull. This time nothing doing. He's stacked up at the 45-yard line. Gary Weber, the big 6'2", 230-pound running back, runs into plenty of opposition, this time led by middle guard Roger Barr, a senior 5'10", 175, and Gary is stopped for virtually no gain, just inside the 45-yard line of Watchung Hills. We'll call it 2nd down and 10. Weber comes out of the ballgame now. Ed Stewart comes in. The 6'1" senior has scored 3 touchdowns this year. Matawan lining in that single wing. 2nd and 10 at the Watchung 45. The snap to Stewart. Stewart trying to go around right end, and he is tripped up at the 45, and down he goes. As again, Frank Pasquarello, along with defensive back Dean Dilzell, would not be fooled. And the sweep around the corner, which worked earlier in the ball game, is corralled this time by Watchung Hills. It'll be 3rd down, still 10 for Matawan at the Watchung Hills 45-yard line. Stewart comes out now, and Gary Weber comes back in. 3rd and 10, center Glenn Holmes out over the football. Let's see if Mandeville will send it airborne. He's thrown 10 touchdown passes this year. The tailback will throw. He's looking, scans the field under a big rush. Looks like it's going to be the screen pass to Weber. He's got it. Gary at the 40. Gary breaking a couple of tackles, dives down near the 35-yard line. Close to a 1st down. Gary Weber on that screen pass, which has worked so well in a couple of ball games for Matawan, brought down by defensive back Frank Pasquarello of Watchung Hills. It'll be short of a 1st by about 2 yards. 4th and 2 Matawan at the Watchung Hills 37-yard line. And you can hear the Matawan crowd. 8:50 to go in the 1st period. No score. Matawan out over the football. Butler, the wingback, flanks wide to the right. On the Watchung 37. 4th and 2. The snap to Weber. He pulls for it. 1st down for Gary Weber. Down near the 32 or 31-yard line. There was no stopping Gary Weber that time. He received some brilliant blocking up front. Joe Galletti, Bob Cockshaw, Ron Lee, Chris Marcella all driving Watchung Hills back, and Weber picks up the 1st down at the Watchung 32. 1st and 10 for Matawan. They've taken the football from their own 28 and have driven steadily. Even a little penalty back to the 23 has not bothered them yet on this drive. The snap goes to Mandeville. The tailback swinging wide to the right. He's at the 30, hit and dropped just inside the 30-yard line. Kenny Mandeville will get about 2 yards on that carry. Linebacker Dean Geibel, a senior 6'1", 188, over to make the tackle as Kenny Mandeville got it down to the 29-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Matawan, sideline right. Open field to the left. Mandeville, who has carried the ball this year for 312 yards to start the game on 57 carries, averaging 5.4 a carry. 2nd down, 7, Matawan on the Watchung 29-yard line. Backs in the single wing. The snap goes inside to Weber. Gary crushes ahead down to the 25-yard line. The baby bull rumbling into the center of the Watchung Hills line. And Tony Norcia, Bill Ard, and Tim Aldrich combined on the stop. Norcia, junior, 5'6", 178. Aldrich, a senior running back as well, 5'8", 175. And Ard, the biggest Watchung defensive player, a junior, 6'3", 193. Pick up to the 26, they mark it. It'll be 3rd down now. And about 4 for Matawan at the Watchung 26. Here goes Ed Stewart, slashing to the 25, drives down near the 20. Close to the 1st down, he may have it. Eddie Stewart in the ballgame for that carry, and Stewart, a senior, 6'1", 215, tracking for the 1st down. He is less than a yard short. It'll be 4th down now for Matawan, and less than a yard to go at the Watchung 23. And Matawan, of course, will go for it. 4th and less than a yard for the Huskies. Both benches standing up to watch this play in the single wing. The snap to Weber, crashes, 1st down inside the 20. Gary Weber virtually unstoppable on that power smash, and he picks up a 1st down for Matawan. 2nd call here for Gary Weber on a 4th down short yardage situation. That he's driven for the 1st down, and Bob, that's just sheer power.
It is, Tony. Watchung Hills they're playing a 6-2 defense, and they're putting both linebackers inside, and that time they were stacked inside, but Weber ran right over them.
On the 18-yard line, Ed Stewart wants to go wide, trying to spin the corner. He cracks through one tackler, maintains his balance, and drives down to the 15-yard line. He ran right over Dave Palumbo, the split end, who also plays defensive back, a senior 6'1", 162. He just ran right through him.
He had a good shot at him, but he just put his shoulder down and ran right over him.
A hard run by Stewart. He got it to the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now. Matawan knocking on the door in the Watchung 15. Sideline left, open field to the right. Matawan has not given up the football yet in this ball game. They've driven steadily downfield with the opening kickoff. On the snap to Weber. Gary spinning into the line, and he is stuck up at the 14-yard line. Again, Gary spun around, faked the pitch, and then drove straight ahead. And this time the center of the Watchung Hills defense managed to stop him at the 13. It'll be 3rd down now. Watchung Hills trying to get tough here near their own goal line. 3rd down from Matawan on the Watchung 13-yard line. And about 5 for the Huskies as they drive steadily downfield. And we have 5:37 to go in the first quarter, and Watchung is yet to see the football. 3rd and 5 on the Watchung Hills 13. Kenny Mandeville trying to go wide, cuts into the center, he's to the 10, breaks a tackle, drives down to the 9. Looks like he'll be a little short of the first down. And again, it'll be another big 4th down, short yardage play, unless he got the first. Let's see, maybe he got the first. He did. First down for Matawan on the 8-yard line. So Mandeville picked it up. Matawan has not thrown the ball with the exception of one screen pass to Gary Weber. The Huskies 1st and goal now on the Watchung Hills 8-yard line. The maroon and white Matawan Ball Club in the single wing, sideline right, open field left. The snap goes to Weber, cracks to the 5, to the 4, to the 3, and he's driving down near the goal line. Gary Weber hurtling into the center of that Watchung Hills line. And got it down to about the 3. And Matawan just says, here we come, try to stop us, and not too many teams have been able to. 2nd and goal now. We'll call it the 3-yard line for Matawan. About the 3.5 of Watchung Hills. Backs in the single wing. Huskies on the doorstep. The snap to Weber. Weber crashes straight ahead. He does not get in. He is stuck up around the 3 or 2-yard line. Yardage really gets tough down there by that goal line. Matawan not showing a whole lot of finesse here. They're just sending Gary Weber bowling for it. Let's see where they place the football. Looks to be about the 1-yard line. So it is 3rd and goal for Matawan on the 1. And here they come. Holmes, the lanky center. Out over the pigskin. 3rd and goal on the 1. Backs in the single wing. The snap goes to Weber. Gary is stacked up right around the goal line, and it appears he did not make it. Gary Weber is dropped shy of the goal line. The center of that Watchung Hills line. Bill Ard, Roger Barr, Tony Norcia wouldn't be moved out of the way. And now it is 4th down and still goal from a little bit inside the 1-yard line.
Tony, I think they'll give it to Weber again right up the middle. They're having a lot of success going up there. I think they'll give it to him again.
Matawan 4th and goal on the Watchung 1. 3:40 to go in the quarter. The score, single wing alignment. The snap inside Weber, smashes, spins, touchdown! Gary Weber using brute force at 6'2", 230 pounds, just kept spinning and twisting and turning and powers into the end zone, and Matawan is out in front with 3:33 to go in the first quarter. Weber from the 1-yard line. And Matawan leads it by a score of 6-0 as the Huskies have owned the football here in the first quarter. Matawan's going to go for the 2 points now from the 3. The snap goes to Mandeville. Tailback has the ball blocked as he tries to get rid of it. It is knocked down by defensive end Jim Lasecki. So as they come back up the field, the score, Matawan 6 and Watchung Hills nothing, and we'll be back in a moment.